Hi Virgo, I hope you guys are doing great today. We're going to be doing general energies for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the last 2 weeks of December. My name is Jackie. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back those of you who are have subscribed already, and welcome those of you who are new. I'm going to be doing this a little differently, guys. I am going to be time stamping below in the description box. So I am starting with the astrology. I am going to be giving about a 10-minute astrology discussion about what's going on with this solar eclipse. So if you have no interest in it, no offense taken, just check out in the description down below to where the tarot messages begin. I'm also going to be giving 2 separate readings at the end for relationship. That'll be for committed Virgos in a committed relationship, and then a second for Virgos in a complicated relationship. So that will be at the end, and I'm also going to put the timestamps for them, okay? All right, so I hope you guys are doing really great today. I'm not going to talk about everything that's going on. I'm going to primarily be focusing on 2 things. First is the sun is going into Capricorn on the 21st, and this is kind of important for us because of this Cancer Capricorn eclipse that we're having. So, and it started in July of 2018. Many of you know that. It's going to be concluding in July of 2020. But let's talk about what's happening right now at the end of the month. So let's first discuss Capricorn. So Capricorn wants tangible results. Capricorn knows what is feasible and what's not, and is most comfortable working within an established framework and known boundaries or limits. Really working very diligently towards a long-term goal is most satisfying within this influence, because out of all of the archetypes in the zodiac, Capricorn, they're the hardest workers. They have the just the strongest work ethic, for sure. So, I mean, if you identify that within yourself, see where Capricorn falls. And you do want to know where Capricorn falls in your chart anyway, especially if you're anywhere from 1 to 15 degrees, that like first 1.5 decans, you guys are going to be feeling this the most strong, okay? Now, what's happening after that is really profound. On the 26th, we have the new moon solar eclipse. It's a partial solar eclipse happening in Capricorn. So it's the depending on the part of the world you live in, it's the 26th, but some parts of the world it might be the 25th. Now, we have to just really think about this, because Saturn rules Capricorn. And Saturn is the great taskmaster. He's the great father in the sky, father time, and this is the slow-moving, very, very serious old man up there, right? I mean, you guys may have heard me refer to him as Santa Claus, right? I started calling him Santa Claus, like, 6-8 months ago, because he really is kind of like this, okay, what have you been doing? I don't think you should be doing that anymore kind of thing, right? So take that energy with the hard-working Capricorn. Now throw Pluto in there. Pluto is the planet of transformation, endings and beginnings, making things change. And for change, we need these endings and beginnings. But this is the thing. Don't worry. Don't be afraid of this. People get very afraid of Pluto, and there's really nothing to be afraid of, because Pluto, one thing, you have to trust him, because he will never push you or evolve us to a place that's not rightful for us to belong. You know, it's when we fight it, because as the energies could be there, we have to engage, right? The energy is not going to come in and take you off the couch. You have to be very conscious and willing to engage in this energy. But it's really, as challenging as it's going to be, there are so many blessings. And I'm going to tell you that the Jupiter influence on all of this is just going to be so incredible, so incredibly positive. Because Jupiter is all about luck and expansion. And even though Jupiter is a fallen Capricorn, Jupiter is going to be forming this harmonious trine with Uranus like nobody's business. And it's just going to be really bringing about this gorgeous sense of excitement and progress and growth and really identifiable improvement and relief and release, along with the new beginnings now, right? But now let's talk about the areas that we're really going to be feeling this in, okay? Really feeling this in. So we're going to, anything having to do with public life. So those of you who, if you don't have anything to do with public life, then that's not going to apply to you. But any of you who have any sort of engagement with the public life, career, reputation, achievement, accountability, all a strong focus. Now, in addition to that, Virgo, I was actually kind of excited to do your video. You guys have this going on in your 5th house. So you really need to identify what needs to be changed in your fifth house of love, romance, creativity, your kids, what you love to do, everything that's related to your heart, all heart space things. And there are going to be improvements here in any area that needs improving. So that's awesome. But this is really the end of this month. This is a time for setting practical, attainable goals, working on developing maturity and a common sense that where you might not be fully developed in a certain area, right? We all have an area where we could afford a little kicking up when it comes to that, right? You really want to be thinking about the future and preparing for it, focusing on concrete ways of developing self-discipline and self-mastery, finding ways to give satisfying form to wishes, making commitments, recognizing responsibilities, and accepting your limitations. Yes, accepting your limitations, and that ironically, the limitations are what actually really help to set us free to explore deeper dimensions of our experience by offering us a secure foundation that allows us to nurture our dreams into reality. Because what Capricorn is all about, reality. All about reality. Capricorn teaches us that recognizing our limitations actually frees us to focus on what matters and where we are and who we are and where we want to go. So with this potent energy, right, of Capricorn, with the solar eclipse, we have the chance to make important changes in our lives that are going to benefit us well beyond this moon cycle energy, this moon cycle, for sure. Now, for some of us, circumstances are such that we need to pay more attention to these matters. You know, flaws or holes in certain areas in our lives are revealed around the time of the eclipse, really prompting us to redo or start fresh. But now keep in mind, this is a partial, so it's not going to be a brand spanking new. This is going to be taking what you have and progressing it, leveling it up. All right? But something's got to end in order for something else to come in big enough to allow that transformation. So we might be called to give something up in order to move forward into a new chapter of life. And even though this might be a little scary, a little vulnerable, you know, unrecognizable, it's very important that we surrender into it, into the unknown, and just not be too afraid of it. Just kind of give into it. Because again, we do have this harmonious trine between Jupiter and Uranus, and we're just going to have so much positive energy. But the thing is this, Jupiter does ask us, Virgo, we have to pick a door to go through, right? So I just want you to envision yourself in the middle of a room, and around the perimeter of the room there are these open doors, and on the other side of each door is a different aspect in your life that needs addressing. Well, Jupiter's going to ask you to walk around, take a hard look on the other side of that and say, what can I get rid of, and what do I need to keep? And it's time to shut some doors. And it's time to really figure out which door you really want to walk through and give all of your energy. Because when you do that, that's where Jupiter is going to completely bless you. So it's really entirely positive. So you guys really want to be asking yourself questions about your relationship. Now, if you're single, do you want to finally find somebody who you want to be with? If you're in a relationship that's really toxic, is it time to maybe transition out of that? Right? But it's a time of really recognizing, at the same time, very important in the fifth house energy, is what is romance to you? What does that mean to you? Where does it have a space in your life? Does it? Well, maybe it doesn't enough, and you need to work that in. How about creativity? Are you allowing yourself creativity? What are you doing for fun? Really fun. Really, like, what does Virgo do for fun? How's your relationship with your kids? Are you as close as you'd like to be? Maybe you could start planning certain outings or certain things where you guys can connect better. All heart-related things. So now I want to just, I want to ask you guys to think back to 4 different 2-year time periods, okay? 4 different 2-year time periods. I did do this a few months ago at the kind of in the middle of the eclipse cycle, when things were very much a rough go for many of us. This is where things, it was like the more challenging aspect, let's say, of the eclipse, where I was asking people to think back to the last time this eclipse energy happened. And it's really profound to do that. So let's do it again. I'm going to even add another 2 sets of 2 years, even further back, for those of us old enough to remember. So if you're old enough to remember 1981 to 1983, what was happening then in your life? Then I want you to think to 1990 to 92. Then think the year 2000 to 2002. And then more recently, think 2009 to 2011. Whatever was happening in those 2-year periods, and there was change happening, there was change for sure, okay, is going to be more of that kind of thing, where there's going to be a swapping out of energies, right? Except this is the thing. We're at the point in the eclipse cycle where now it's time to get the gifts. This is the good part, okay? So it's very important that positive intentions are set, and for you to be really focused on what it is that you feel you can do in a very practical and pragmatic way in order to change everything that I discussed regarding that 5th house, you know? And it's really totally positive and beautiful for you, Virgo. I mean, it's really, love, romance, kids, creativity, everything having to do with your heart space. It's, it's a beautiful energy to have progress, because this is all about progress. All about for all of us, it's about progress, this energy, right? But for you, that's where it falls for you. Spirals of manifestation as you're crowning. So this is really beautiful, because this tells me that you're in the middle of manifesting things. And what does that even mean? People throw that around so much, but really, the best way to look at it is you're keeping yourself open in your energy field. And if you're not, it's something that you need to do. Try your very best to be as honest with yourself about where you need to grow. Because it's when you call yourself out and where you need to grow that blockages lift. And blockages get in the way of energy coming into you to allow change to happen. Right? So this is about you really getting in touch with yourself. You're in the middle of it though, Virgo. I mean, I'm getting very strong that you're in the middle of it. Getting the spirals is typically that you're in the middle of it. Something is coming into being, even if you think it's further away than ever before. Something that you've been wanting. Like how amazing it will be when what you've been dreaming about just falls into place. Suddenly, what you've been thinking of creating will just kind of plop into your reality seemingly out of nowhere, because it was really just around the bend the whole time. It was just out of view, right? You just couldn't see it. It was coming your way all along, though. This is something that you manifested a long time ago. And this has to do, I feel very strongly, with something to do with this heart space, this love, this creativity. I mean, it could be a new job, having to do with something where you're exercising your creativity. And guys, you can be creative as a computer programmer. It doesn't mean that you're a singer, a dancer, or an artist. It's whatever's creative within your industry, for sure. So I really like this, because sometimes when we feel the furthest away from what we want, we're actually closer than ever before. Right? So it just takes like one little turn on the spiral loop of creation, and we could just see our manifestations taking root around us. See, don't lose faith, right? Just keep working on, or whatever. I feel like a lot of you have been working towards something, right? Just keep working, keep it going, keep believing. Don't have that attitude though, and I'm only saying that, Virgo, because you guys are the Hermit energy, and you're very I love Virgos. And you guys are awesome workers, by the way, too. And you're just very giving. You really are. But you have to admit, you can be quite critical of yourself, first and foremost. But you can be critical. So try not to adopt this idea of seeing is believing. I'm not going to believe it until I see it. And certainly don't pay attention to any of the naysayers in your life if anybody's giving you that nonsense. Just put them out of your head. Okay? Just don't give into it. And don't give in to those who might tell you, well, it should have happened already, or that you've already failed, or that you're just suffering from a lack of patience and understanding, as well as, anything. Just ignore those people. Ignore these people, because they are actually the ones who would be the one suffering from a lack of patience and understanding, and some as well as an arrogant assumption that their notions of timing is somehow superior to spirit's timing. Sometimes, the best laid plans of mice and men, right? It's like sometimes we do the best we can and it doesn't happen straight away. And there's always a reason for that doesn't become apparent to us right away. But it's happening now. So if you have people in your life who are like, oh yeah, here we go again, and just really put it out of your head. Is everything's unfolding perfectly, whether you feel it right now or not. For real. I mean, this is about synchronicities, right? Synchronicities. And I feel like a lot of you may have started to notice it already. Is when you live from your heart and really honor that creative center, and you choose unlikely but really loving, rebellious ways to live, you're going to start to really notice synchronicities in your life. And I feel like a lot of you guys are really doing this. So everything is unfolding exactly as it's supposed to be. And I really like that for you, Virgo. I really do. Good stuff. All right. So let's get into, let me just move these over here. Okay, so I'm going to pull the Arcana for your general energy. So I'm going to give messages for career, for relationship, for family, friends, you know, whatever comes through, because not everybody's in a relationship, not everybody has a career, not everybody has family, you know, everybody's in a different space. So let's just see what we get for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the last 2 weeks, December 2019. I'm going to start with the foundation, Three of Swords. Okay, starting off with some pain, my friend. Okay, crowning energy is the Lovers. Foundation is the Ace of Cups reverse. In the past, we have the Five of Pentacles. You had a feeling of lack here, Virgo. Queen of Swords, slicing up the truth. Love the Queen of Swords energy. Okay, and then we have This Is You right now, the High Priestess in reverse. Oh, don't doubt yourself. Knight of Pentacles is an external influence to you. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Somebody's not being supportive. The Moon is your fear. Now we're going to talk about that. And then we have the Two of Swords as the outcome. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got. This is something painful. So if this is resonating with you, Virgo, something very painful has happened in your life, okay? Now, if this had to do with a relationship, it can be a third-party situation. It does not have to be. This can certainly be anything external to your relationship that could create this level of pain and a feeling of betrayal in you. So this could be something having to do with family members really not minding their business, and maybe your partner having more of an allegiance to their first family than to you, and you're feeling very betrayed. Some sort of betrayal within your friend group, some sort of betrayal with money, some sort of betrayal with somebody started doing drugs, somebody stole some, anything that will create a pain in the heart space, right? But in the reverse, it's much more positive, because in the reverse it indicates that there's an admittance and a truth coming out about it, and what's nice is you're able to have healing with that in the reverse. In the upright, you're not able to, because there's no validation. But in the reverse is a validation, and there's truth kind of spewing out here. We have the Queen of Cups crossing you, which is a beautiful energy, and this is about understanding what's necessary in the heart space, but really good communication, and sharing love. Sharing love. So there's healing here. There is healing here for sure. And then we have crowning is the Lover's card. And, we love the Lover's card. Some of you might be dealing with the Gemini. But we do love the Lover's card because it's a realistic card. It's realistic. Now, the Lovers does not have to be intimate partners. This could certainly be business partners. This could actually be family members or really good friends. Initially, the original Rider-Waite, it wasn't designed as a man or a woman coming towards each other. It was just two people, and then it ends up evolving into this, right? But it's just two people who share the soul space, right? The reason I'm mentioning that particularly is because if we were going to look at this as something to do with work, this tells me that something happened in work that you felt very betrayed by. So maybe you got passed up for a promotion. Something happened where you were passed by, and it was very painful, or some sort of situation came up where you felt betrayed. But then there's this conversation happen, and the cups energy just means like you're being heard, you're being listened to, and it's happening in a very empathetic way. So it's a beautiful energy. And crowning here is the Lovers again. Now for an intimate relationship, this is about you and your partner recognizing that you guys have issues and you have conflict. You have conflict that you need to work through, but you're going to work through it because Archangel Raphael has a blessing over this card, and as well as the luminary, the sun. So to have the sun and Archangel Raphael blessing you guys trying to work out your stuff is beautiful. Okay, it's a beautiful crowning energy. If you're having, this has to do with work, this has to do with you having a true meeting of the minds with your boss, with your colleagues, whoever the issue was with, a true meeting of the mind. So really, really nice. I do like that. Now, the thing is here in the, I'm going to pull some energies on this, but in the foundation energy, we have the Ace of Cups reverse, and this indicates that there's not a new beginning in this heart space as the foundation. So we have it in the crowning, but we don't have it in the foundation under it all. And that tells me that something's happening here that can't be fully trusted. So if something is happening and you guys have this conversation and you feel like, okay, this is what we have to do, there's something that's going to be amiss. And Virgo, and this is the thing, I'm sorry if I'm going to be popping all over the place here, but I do have to call out the fact that you are currently the High Priestess reverse. And the High Priestess reverse just indicates you not being fully in touch with your intuition as you normally are. So this shows me you may be not seeing absolutely everything right now, Virgo, with some situation that you're dealing with in this time period. Okay, so maybe it's somebody giving you some lip service in work and you not realizing that they're not being very sincere, that they have any intention of having full follow through. Or if this has to do with an intimate relationship, it's, I don't even want to say the person doesn't mean it. Maybe they're well intended, but I feel like there's a part of them that's just not going to give in 100%. Otherwise, this would be upright, because this does indicate a lack of willingness to have this new beginning. It's this lack of willingness there. So we're going to come back to that, okay? Now, I have in the recent past, Five of Pentacles reverse energy. This is the card of lack. So for some of you, Virgos, money may have been an issue for you, in the most mundane, way. The Pentacles can mean money and resources. In the reverse, it does mean being very stuck in a lack mentality. Really not seeing a way out of it with any sort of real clarity, If it has nothing to do with money, if your money is fine, this tells me that you're in a space of just really not feeling supported. Because remember, Pentacles can also mean mental, emotional, and physical support. It's how we do connections. So in the reverse, this tells me that you were in a situation, be it a relationship, a job, where you did not feel at all supported. Maybe you were looking for support from a family member or a friend and they just did not have your back. And it's like, I feel like, I don't know, I keep getting this phrase, lip service keeps coming to me. Lip service, where somebody was saying all the pretty things that need to be said in order to rectify a situation, but it can't all be trusted. It's like, there's a reason that the Three of Swords energy happened in the first place. Yeah, but again, you are the High Priestess in reverse, and you're not being in touch with your intuition. Let's look at what's crossing you is the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So there is a lack of willingness to be supportive of each other. But this is external to you. So Virgo, somebody is not being supportive of you. Now, this could certainly be you feeling that you are just not getting the support that you need in your career. You're not making the money that you need to make. You're not, what they promised you to be the reality of a position that you're in right now is nothing like what you're in. And when if you try to discuss this with anyone, you're getting lip service. I feel like there's a lot of lip service here within the career sector. Now, if this has to do with a relationship, I do feel you feeling the sense of lack in the area of feeling supported. And it's like you're fearing why? Because you're afraid of the moon. And the moon, look, I mean, as I've been saying, the moon's a tricky energy, and right away people go to the fact that it's secrets, and it's not revealing what's under the surface, right? So if we look at it with a, like a Nietzsche lens, how much psychology some of you have studied, but Nietzsche is a famous philosopher and psychologist, and you know, he would say that you're hiding, you know, it's what you do in secret, it's what you're hiding, what somebody's hiding, right? But then if we look at the Jungian perspective, it's what somebody is not yet aware of, right? So there's like a level of unconsciousness about it. And I always tend to feel that way, okay? Because I feel like the moon card is more, and not that they had anything to do with tarot, this is just me applying my studies in psychology to the tarot whenever I can, but I feel like this moon energy is more you fearing somebody not even being able to identify something in themselves. And the thing is, when somebody can't identify something in themselves, they can't fix it. And you can go in and tell somebody until they're blue that they're X, Y, and Z, but they have to be able to really identify it and be able to fix it. So I feel like somebody is acting in a certain way where they don't even realize it, but it's a way it's scary to you. It's a concern of yours. So some of you might be with a partner who is acting in a certain way, and they're just not seeing what they do. And this is very concerning to you for you to move forward into this next phase. It's almost like, Virgo, you might be dealing with somebody who actually just fully believes their own stuff all the time, never really fully admitting to where they're maybe in need of improvement. Do you know what I mean? And this could even have to do with a boss, somebody who just acts a certain way, and they just don't give it, the thought that's required to actually do anything about changing. And that's why it's like I feel like you're fearing this cyclical kind of thing coming up again. I don't feel like it's a one-time thing, because I don't feel that you would be at the Two of Swords space if it was a one-time thing. Because the Two of Swords is literally being at a crossroads, cross purposes. So it's cross purposes with yourself, cross purposes with somebody else, but it's sitting and taking a minute before you're making any sort of decisions. And I like this for you. I always like the waiting energy for Virgo, because it tells me that you guys are honoring your true natures, right? Because you are by nature the hermit energy, right? And so if we take this outcome and then we look into the near future, we have the Queen of Swords energy. And the Queen of Swords has people figured out as soon as they walk in the room, before they even open their mouth. All right? The Queen of Swords understands people's motivations, understands what makes people tick. So, where your intuition is a little upside down right now, it's not going to be upside down in the near future. You're going to have it figured out, and you're going to be slicing up some truth. And you're going to be laying the truth down, Virgo, because this is very, very necessary as well. Because I do feel like you're dealing with a person or a situation, they are truly, truly blind to what they are doing. And it's frustrating for somebody like you, because you're not that way. You are typically like not only very intuitive, but very little gets past you. You're very perceptive. You really are. And you're very good at, you're just so good at so many things, but you're very good at communicating. I mean, you're ruled by Mercury. I mean, you just have an innate internal detector, right, to figure things out. So I do feel like that many of you are going to be having to contend with somebody who just doesn't really see what's going on. I don't even know where I want to put that. We get the Six of Swords. Six of Swords energy is like, and it wanted to come out, so it was a very definitive fly out. Six of Swords energy is about you leaving, even if only temporarily, even if only in your mind, to get away from a toxic situation, to just kind of catch your breath and put things in perspective, which, is maybe not such a bad idea. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the situation is, but this does tell me that you are dealing with, I feel like you're still needing to deal with this Three of Swords energy. Because that's a deep pain, boy. That's a deep pain. So let's get some more information on this Two of Swords outcome energy, please. Two of Swords, and then we'll pull some... Actually, Wow. 5 of Swords. 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 5 Somebody really wants forgiveness. They want to give you their heart, and they really, really want to talk about the truth of something. You're having a really hard time buying it, though, Virgo. Why are you having such a hard time buying it? Some energy on this Three of Swords reverse. And King of Cups. Tonight, King of Cups is all about, I want to give you my cup. I love you. I want this to work. If this is to do with career, please, I really want this to work. I want you to work here. I want you to be my partner here. I want us to all grow together here in the company, right? Let's sit down and talk things out. Let's talk about the truth, the Knight of Swords energy. And then there's like this forgiveness that's found, but you're feeling very, very conflicted. There's a reason you're conflicted, but I do feel like you are demanding that truth. I mean, they're coming in with the Knight of Swords, and you as the Queen of Swords, you're like, yeah, okay, because you're more powerful. You, as a queen, you're higher than the Knight. You're like, all right, sit down. Let's talk about the truth now. That's what I'm getting here. Absolutely. Because you're not taking anything that is not the truth right now. So that's really good. But I just want to know what this Three of Swords energy is. Just a little something about it. What's going on? Two of Cups. Look at the twinning here. You got the two. Let me show you these two cards. You look at how much the same they are. Two of Cups and the Lovers. This is somebody you had a deep promise with. Deep, committed promise with. Deep, committed promise. Oh. Okay. Deep, committed promise. The Hierophant is the card of spirituality and your belief system and your moral code and your moral compass. This ended up falling apart, though, because of the Three of Swords energy. There was a third element that the person that you're dealing with, or you, one of you, let in to the relationship. So whether it's a third party, whether it's a situation within your family, any of the issues, the situations that I mentioned before. But it was a very painful energy, very painful. And there ended up being a tower moment because of this feeling of betrayal. But as I always say in tarot, I mean, in tarot, even the tower can be rebuilt if everybody is on the same, playing field. And I do feel like you're dealing with somebody who is. But I feel like, Virgo, you're having a really hard time believing that it won't happen again. They're having a very hard time believing it won't happen again. These energies can be very enmeshed because it's a general meaning. But I do feel, though, I mean, there's a lot of disillusion and disappointment here, and really focusing on the negative and not being able to see the two cups behind you. So that could definitely be why you're having a really hard time really hearing the apology and really feeling that it's not going to happen again. Now, if this has to do with a job, this could be that the job actually ended in some way, or that the job ended in the way that it was supposed to roll out. Okay, and then it needs to be a shift in things, and you were very disillusioned, very, very disappointed, and you were very focused on that because this was an agreement that you guys had, and the agreement was not kept. So whether it's having to do with a relationship, a career, this could even be a friendship. Somebody promised you something and they didn't keep it. There was a betrayal here. The relationship fell apart. You were feeling very sad, very disillusioned, and you felt very betrayed and disrespected, and that your integrity has been played with, and that somebody did something very against your moral compass. Very much so. Yeah. So when we have the Judgment here, you're having a really hard time forgiving them, because Judgment is about looking back on the past and really trying to assess how everyone behaved, and not that you are the one to judge. It's Spirit who ends up judging, right? but we're supposed to just kind of go with it as well when Spirit allows this forgiveness, right? And this is very hard right now because of this residual pain. So I feel like there's still some sort of residue from some sort of scar, some sort of pain from the past, from an earlier time within this relationship that's really getting in the way of you feeling 100% comfortable moving forward in the cycle with either this person or this job or this friendship. Yeah, that's what I have. That's what I have, Virgo. All necessary. Not worried about it. I'm not worried about it because, you know, think about what we just talked about a few minutes ago regarding the solar eclipse. I mean, something needs to leave in order to be transformed. Something needs to change. Now, you have transformation here happening in that 5th house. So that tower, if this had to do with relationship, I mean, if everybody's on board, it can be transformed if everybody wants it. If this person's cheating on you and having babies all around town and stealing money and everything, tell them to keep going. Sometimes the pains are just too bad and it's all just too big. Do you know what I mean? It really is. It's, you know, yeah, forgiveness can be had and everything to release yourself, but sticking within the confines of reality, right? I mean, often couples try to get past things and they say, okay, we're going to leave the past behind. That is really difficult to do. It really is, because it takes an incredible amount of patience, incredible amount of empathy, a lot of admittance by whoever did something wrong. May have to be patient. If the other person needs 5 apologies or 5,000 apologies, they have to be on board with that, because we can't push somebody else's healing. So it's really hard. It really is. So we're first going to be talking about Virgos who are in a committed relationship right now, okay? Emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. I feel like one other sign got this. I don't remember who. Must let go of resentment. Jeez, that's another. I mean, this is like the same thing, right? We get the Judgment card coming out with the Celtic cross and offering the cup and wanting to come in and tell the truth. And it's hard to let go of that resentment. It's hard, and it's different for everyone. So, I mean, that's really as unique as the situation, you know? Okay. Mask. Not showing true feelings. Isn't that what I just said? Not showing. Golden mirror, self-absorbed narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing, girl talk, time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment, having fun. Now, this is for you Virgos who are in a committed relationship. I feel like if this is resonating with you, if it's not resonating with you, if you guys are all like butterflies, roses, and unicorns, this is not your reading. Thank God. Okay? It's not. Because I don't feel like this is anything that, this has been brewing. Okay? So, okay, Virgo, not your reading, you know, for the love portion. You know, check your rising sign, your moon sign, your Venus. Those relationship ones, especially your rising and your moon. Okay, so we have the mask is not showing true feelings, hiding, personify, pretend, deluding. So somebody is not giving all their true feelings here. Somebody is very self-absorbed. Of course, I mean, with the 3 of Swords card, somebody is definitely self-absorbed. This is the energy that you guys are dealing with. And spending time with friends, moving on. I mean, this doesn't have to be permanently. Girl talk is not a permanent energy by any stretch. But it's simply like really seeking solace in someone who is supported. Very supportive of us. But now let's go back to the crowning. Emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there is a lot of resentment here for sure. All right, so let's pull some energies to get a little narrative, some backstory on this, and see what's happening here. The devil. Devil energy. Low vibe energy. Temperance. Justice reversed. Ace of Cups reversed again. That was the foundation before. So the devil energy is anything that's low vibrational. So this can have to do with some sort of addiction, negative behavior of any kind. But just really not doing the right thing. Really not doing the right thing. So again, you know, drugs, alcohol, food, sex, money, gambling, grossly irresponsible behavior, cheating, irresponsible flirting kind of thing, you know. It can also just be very negative thinking, very negative thinking. Now then we have the temperance energy, but the temperance energy is about the alchemical card, right? It's about being able to put together what you need and, you know, what they need, and in order to really try to save the relationship and really, you know, acknowledge the needs that are made, that are necessary, right? So I do get that this person is actually, I'm going to say this, I feel like they're making excuses for themselves. And I feel like part of what the excuse is that they weren't getting what they needed in the relationship, but there was something about you that you weren't doing, Virgo. And they're trying to do this, where they're trying to say that, well, you know, I need this, and I needed this, and this is why, and, you know, but you guys are having this conversation of really trying to figure out what's necessary here. To make the relationship happen, because again, this is for Virgos who are committed to each other, but there's just no justice here. I mean, there's just no justice. So I feel, Virgo, I feel like you guys are going to be getting the bad end of the stick here. But this next phase is not going to happen. I mean, the Ace of Cups is reversed here. Again, this is twice. So there's something being held back, because it's not, the cup is not given, the cup is being taken away. The cup is being taken away. So I don't know. I mean, is this person giving you the silent treatment? Are you not talking to them right now? But there is a shutdown of the heart space here. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that, you know, you guys cannot agree on what each needs and have a healthy conversation about it, because to have the temperance upright with the justice reverse, there's not fairness here. And the temperance is supposed to be about fairness, and there's just not fairness. And we got this devil energy here. Judgment. More judgment. Page of Swords reverse is about lies. Two of Wands reverse. There's delay, there's lack of motivation, there's manipulation going on here. And then we have the Ace of Swords. Let's pull this out. Let's pull some energy on the Ace of Swords, please. All right, this is Virgo. Virgo, I'm getting that many of you are going to be starting with somebody else. You're going to be starting a new reality for yourself, a new truth. A new truth. You get the Fool. Fool's about taking a calculated risk in a brand new direction, and it going really well. And you, with a heavy heart, leaving this situation. The Eight of Cups is about just acknowledge. It's disappointment, but it's acceptance. It's acceptance, moving away from the cups, moving away from the emotions of the situation, because you know that the situation is ultimately not really going to end up opening up to you. There's too much holding back. You're holding back here. There's this inability to trust and believe in this situation. That is what I'm getting. Again, if you guys are happy Virgos, this is not your reading, okay? This is for Virgos who've been in a committed relationship. Obviously, things were a little wonky here, but the thing is, you know, we got the crowning energy that is, in order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. There is a lot of resentment here, but I feel like if you're dealing with somebody who's willing to admit to what they did, and everybody has an open conversation, then that will be allowed to open up, unravel, and move forward to find healing. But it seems like if if that's not the case that's going to happen, this does not seem like a really good energy for you guys right now. Capricorn. Oh, Capricorn, Virgo. Are you dealing with the Capricorn? I have the devil energy in my head. It's Capricorn. Ay, ay, ay. Yes, no, Spirit, I'm not honoring reversals. It's committed Virgo. Going to work things out with this person. Yes or no, I'm not honoring reversals. Ooh, conditions, yeah. Oh my gosh, this is funny. I mean, it's funny in a good way. All right. So the cards do say that you guys are eventually going to work things out because judgment is about forgiveness, but this is you laying it down. You are laying it down, okay? Between the judgment and the Ace of Swords, this is what Virgo is going to be like. I need this, that, and the other thing. I am not going to deal with the injustice anymore. I'm not dealing with the unfair behavior, and I'm not having the lies. Sit down and spill the beans. Like, let's talk about what's going on here. Let's talk about what's going on here. How is their partner going to be responding to them? They want the new start. I mean, they want the new start. So if something wonky happened within the relationship, they want the new start. You're still going to feel trepidatious about it. But ultimately, you're going to feel trepidatious. You're not going to feel sure if you want to take the risk, but you're going to. You're going to. But you know, going back to that 5th house, love, romance, you have to find out what needs to be changed in that area. And maybe this is all part of what needs to be changed. Whatever's been happening up till now, you know? However it's been happening up to now it needs to be changed. No more of whatever's been happening. It can't keep going like this. This nonsense. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Let's pull some energies for Virgos in a complicated. I thought that was a little complicated, but it was where you guys are kind of like not together, but you're still in each other's energy fields, right? Who just got this? Somebody else just got this. Taurus. Taurus just got this. So if you guys are dealing with the Taurus, you might want to check out the love reading on that end, okay? And it was for the, oh goodness, and it was for the complicated one. That was a wackadoo shuffle. Yeah, it was for the same one. It's the complicated one. Don't rush into it. Allow. Was it Taurus? I don't know. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. You check Taurus, yeah. Timestamp is on the Taurus one if you want to just pop over there if you're dealing with one. I'm going to pull the island after. Get some. A lot of pentacles happening here. Knight of Pentacles, beautiful. I mean, that's about building and creating, trying to formulate a new life together. Page of Pentacles is a new cycle. 2 of Pentacles is feeling confused between two paths. The 8 of Swords is the card of self-imprisonment. So I do feel like we need some energies to understand what's happening here for Virgo in a complicated position. Hand of Cards. Hand of Cards is about taking a chance, a risk, being strategic. Taking a risk, gambling. We get the Grim Reaper. Mirroring each other, self-image, relationship reflects our wounds. I actually think Virgo got this as well. Huh? All right. This is about taking a chance. Not showing your hands. The Grim Reaper is all about the relationship is over. No second chances. No second chances. Grow and transform your life. Grow and transform your life. Because this relationship, you're dealing with a situation where this relationship is reflecting each other's wounds. Introspection. I mean, I'm getting very much that this was a soulmate connection where you guys were in each other's lives for a season, 2 seasons, 10 seasons, 20 seasons. It doesn't matter, but it was just long enough for you guys to actually learn some lessons from each other. And it may be time to take those lessons and move on. Yeah. Yeah. Because even if you try to be strategic, I mean, it's the Grim Reaper energy does trumpet. It does trumpet. So you are going to be definitely moving on. Now, so the crowning to me, the waiting, don't rush into it, is don't rush into anything new. Like, just don't do that. Just don't do that. Because you're very much in this space of really wanting that wish fulfillment, that Nine of Pentacles energy, right? You want this new cycle. You're missing the connection. Because Pentacles is about connection, right? It's about mental, physical, and emotional connection. It's how we do relationships. Right? And then, so we have, this is your desire, but then we have this confusion where, Virgo, I mean, you're very stuck between, should I keep, hanging around missing this person, throwing my energy into this ring where I just don't feel like it's going to be reciprocated? And the answer would be like, no, like go on that other path. And I know it's creating a lot of anxiety for you because you have this 8 of Swords energy, but you have to understand that the Grim Reaper, where it is negative in the way where it's like the relationship is over, it's also telling you, go, because your life is going to be transformed. There's a transforming that's going to be happening here for you. Yeah, nice. Okay, so the Page of Wands is this will to have this new beginning and this new movement forward, which is really great. And I feel like some of you, Virgo, are actually going to be meeting somebody new. Somebody new who comes in, who's really exciting, who's full of fire, who's full of passion, who's really great. You're going to feel a little confused by them, though, initially, because the 7 of Cups energy is knowing what's in 5 of the Cups, but not really knowing what's in the other 2. So you're just going to be very trepidatious, which is a natural feeling, I think, when you first meet someone, really. You're not going to know everything, but you're going to put yourself inside this state of conflict. This 5 of Swords energy reverse is about you're going to be battling within yourself what's true, what's not true. And I feel like what's going to end up happening, the kind of situation is, Virgo, if you need to end this situation because it was not a good relationship for you, right? And then you end up meeting somebody else, this passionate person, and you end up in this space where you're like, oh my God, I miss my ex. I just really want to go back to that, and I want to be comfortable, and I want to go through all of this again. And you're just going to be in this really deep state of conflict when you try to do it. Yeah. Then we have the Lover's energy, which is all in the reverse, which is about the shadow side of your personalities coming out. I feel like your ex is going to end up coming back as soon as you end up meeting somebody. I mean, this is getting very textured in my mind. Let me just keep this straight. So you guys are going to be really showing the shadow side of your personalities. Yeah. The 6 of Wands is moving away from it. Moving away. 10 of Swords is the end of a cycle. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm getting that, you're in your pain, and trying to ease your pain with this. This is going to I feel like this is a pretty specific message. I feel like the relationship messages are pretty specific in this reading. They're usually not this much, but you wanted to try to ease your pain. So you actually tried to jump into another relationship with somebody who seems pretty interesting to you, but then you realized it ended up being too soon, and then the ex came back around and shadow sides of the personalities came out. You guys were fighting all over again, and then you moved away from really once and for all the toxicity, and you just were like, 10 of Swords is about, I'm done. This cycle is finished. And here comes the crowning energy here, which is wait. Don't rush into anything. Allow nature to take its course. So don't jump into anything. Let things kind of evolve. Focus on other things right now. So much easier said than done. But focus on other things. If this resonates with you. If it resonates. resonates. Can't resonate with everybody. You know how it goes. All right, Virgo, that is what I have for you. I hope this was in some way helpful. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.